All right, guys, we are live HSP podcast, and we are previewing Night of Champions. Which is just actually we're not even. It's less than an hour away. It's Jeff Martin alongside the Trendsetter Brian Berga. Welcome to Get Shot Network. We're back here, and man, this is a little spur of the moment. We decided to go live as we count down to Night of Champions at the top of the hour. Trendsetter, what's going on?
It's good to be back, man. A lot of kinks, a lot of work went into doing this too. But to preview Night of Champions, man, from where we were starting with WrestleMania to where we are now, man, a lot's happened right now and a lot to look forward to. So this card's actually pretty impressive. I kind of like the way it's been set up and more matches than I thought there was going to be. So it's gonna be nice to break it down.
And we will do so right now. But first, let's get the little promos out of the way. We're on Give Us a Shot Network. Follow us there. Follow us on High Spot Podcast, all our social media as well. So first of all, it's good to be back. And listen, a big night tonight, a big night of wrestling in general, guys. And you're joining us on YouTube live here. So looking forward to doing this more often. But as we count down to Night of Champions tonight, in just a few minutes, actually, a lot of stuff here that interests me. So let's start out, Trendsetter. First and foremost, we talked about this last time we were remote, Cody and Brock. And I want to ask you, Trendsetter, are you keen on what matches start first, where each matchup goes at the top of the card? Is that something that you find yourself, analyzing it like we're about to right now? Because I want to play a little game with you here, so I want to see if that's something that you really care about.
Personally, no, but I do understand the reasoning behind it. Look, if we're talking about WrestleMania, a Royal Rumble, a SummerSlam, yeah, I would say those key ones. They're depending on the story and what's being built up to leading into it. As it builds up for more matches, like I said, I didn't think Brock was going to be a one and done as we did when we were doing a remote over at the Powerhouse Gym in Saddlebrook. I didn't think it was going to be a one and done, and it's going to continue. So I think it's important here. I don't think this goes to the main event. I think the main event is the world title picture. We'll dive into that in a little bit. But yeah, I do find importance in it to a certain extent, especially in a night like this, because they're treating this as a WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. They're treating it that much importance. So it's going to be important where you go in the match card. And I wouldn't be surprised if it starts off with Brock and Cody.
Well, we're going to play the game right now, Trendsetter, because thanks to a PW Insider, we actually have the rundown of the match. I kind of don't like the spoilers too much, man. I just want to enjoy the show. Of course, there's some things that you want to know about, but I just want to have an open mind when I'm watching the show. And match placement is something that, man, again, you're right. If it is WrestleMania, fine. But then other than that,
it's important, right? If you're a promoter,
yeah.
because you want to start off hot, but from a fan's perspective, I could care less.
So let's play the game, Trendsetter. You said that Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar you think are going to open Night of Champions, right?
Yes, because if they're not going to end the show, which I don't think they are, they might as well go first.
All right, and where would you personally put 3 main events tonight, right? We got Cody and Brock. The WWE World Heavyweight Champion will be crowned, a new champion will be crowned, and also the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles will be on the line. So 3 main events, right? Where would you place the WWE World Championship match?
I would place it probably behind the tag team match, because you would think, before I completely forgot that the tag team match was happening, believe it or not. I can't believe I forgot it. But since it is Roman Reigns, he's going to close out the show.
There you
So
go.
he's going to close it out. So the world title match will either be somewhere, I would hate to say in the middle, but maybe second to last.
Right.
You would anticipate Seth and AJ are going to have a pretty good match. So you would hate to have that follow it. So you need a buffer in between. So probably second to last.
All right. So you got the Roman Reigns part right, the Tribal Chief, and congratulations to the Tribal Chief, who will reach 1,000 days today. Actually, a Night of Champions celebration will happen on Friday Night SmackDown. So 1,000 days for the Tribal Chief. Of course, he's the man. He's head of the table. Head of the table will be last. So you got that right. But for the WWE World Championship, the first champion crowned between AJ Styles and Seth Freakin Rollins, the match is going on first. It will open up Night of Champions. If you can't close it, you might as well open it. And that, my friends, is going to be the opening match tonight in just a few minutes from Saudi Arabia in Jeddah at the Jeddah Superdome. What are your thoughts? I personally think, again, if you can't close it, plus this is going to be the first ever champion crowned, the lineage continues, but this is the first time in a long time we're going to have another world champion. If it's not going to close, it might as well open.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to agree with you, but that's kind of the mindset you want to go. If you're not going to start off, you might as well start off if you're not going to end it, you might as well start off with the crowd really excited and hot for it. I don't know, man. To be honest with you, am I excited to see it? Yes. It could go either way because right now it seems to be generating itself towards Seth. They're trying to pull strong for AJ. Now it's kind of the likelihood of, you don't know from what we've heard, and we'll dive into the match specifically in a few moments. But man, I just don't know personally myself if they've built up the world. I think they've tried to rush it too much. Granted, yes, Triple H introduced it several weeks ago, about a month ago, but I still feel it's rushed, and it really feels it. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me watching this right now or watching on repeat that it feels like a secondary title. So the importance of it, I just don't know if I feel it there in terms of what they've done with obviously the dominance of Roman Reigns.
What I find funny is that Seth Rollins thinks of this as an opportunity. It's the chance to, while Roman Reigns has kind of seized the titles in the World and Universal Championship. I think that Seth Rollins kind of expressed a little bit to the fact that there's a new opportunity. This is going to be the fighting championship. It's not going to be like Roman Reigns, right? Which the gripe is that he doesn't, he's not on TV all the time. I wonder who that sounds like.
I know, right?
And so that's the main gripe, right? So this is going to be the fighting championship, and well, I get that. I just understand AJ Styles coming out saying, basically calling it a secondary title. Basically, you can't beat Roman, so you're getting this title. I don't know if
He's
that was.
being honest, though. He's being
I
honest.
I
That's
get
what
it. So, but I think there should be maybe one perspective into this, because I think that this is going to be a, while we know it's a secondary title, I don't think somebody wants to admit that. So it's just kind of weird that you have both sides coming at one point. I know AJ Styles is all about making this one the main title, and then eventually going after Roman Reigns, but I just find it a little weird that you have two perspectives while you're pushing Seth Rollins and really going after this title. AJ Styles belief. Maybe just AJ Styles knows that he's not going to win this, and I'll get to the predictions that I would love to see AJ Styles with this run. I just don't know what the plans for Seth. Is he going to take time off and go do movies? We hear that Triple H is really high on Seth. He's his main guy. But with all that saying, I'm a little torn here because I don't know if this title win is for a bigger story. So I don't know if this is going to set up AJ Styles and a Seth Rollins feud, maybe, or that's the direction we're going to do, where Seth Rollins wins it. But I think if you're going to have a big night, you're going to introduce a championship, you might as well go with Seth Freakin Rollins. He's been the workhorse. He sacrificed a little bit of himself for Cody Rhodes to get him over. So I think this is where I'm sorry, not Cody Rhodes. This is where Seth Freakin Rollins, kind of gets that prize, that carrot at the end of the obstacle course. I think he becomes the new WWE champion. But a lot of controversy here, where you can see AJ Styles win it. But at the end of the day, Trendsetter, I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins.
Okay, that's fine. And everything you just said, it makes sense from that perspective. Here's where I kind of disagree on the scenario because, yes, you say, oh, Seth Rollins deserves it. He's been the hottest guy. Let's be completely honest about the situation, Jeff. Yes, as much as Seth Rollins and people are saying that, he deserves to win the WWE Championship. He deserves this. He deserves that. He's been the workhorse of the company, even though Roman's the main guy in the face of the company, and he's not particularly. He doesn't need the title. Seth Rollins doesn't need the championship. And yes, would he bring prestige to the title? Would it be exciting to see him as the champion and him being a fighting champion? Let me ask you this. We had the same scenario when he was the Intercontinental champion. Same scenario, he tried to be a fighting champion. I don't know personally, from my vantage point, I don't think it worked. Then when he was the WWE champion, he was a babyface. It didn't work. Granted, this is a different version of Seth than we've ever seen. He really seems to be now engaged with the crowd, as opposed to more back then a forced face turn where he was trying to be the good rah-rah guy and people were like, this is you. Maybe that might change, but I don't know. I think right now they might want to throw the curveball in terms of AJ Styles. Now you say two different perspectives. I mean, Seth's being a good company guy. He's always been a good company guy, right? AJ's just being a realist. It's the reality of the situation. So why don't we just state the obvious rather than work our way around it and say, the proper PR thing? It is a secondary title. Can it be more? Can it be more exciting? Yeah, I mean, because before, when the Universal title is being held hostage by Brock Lesnar, supposedly, right? The main focus was the WWE Championship. Only when Brock Lesnar came back was the WWE Championship a secondary title. So it's the same case here. The only difference is now it's the world title. It's a big shiny gold belt. or title. I know belts, stuff you wrap around your waist. So in this one, I think they're going to throw the curveball here. Although it's kind of weird because it is a SmackDown superstar winning the world title, and and the world title is really exclusive to Raw. You would think it leads all to Seth, but I think they're going to throw a curveball, and it's going to be AJ Styles.
Yeah, I mean, again, that would really, you talk about a curveball already because Bianca Belair is on SmackDown, right? And she's the Raw Women's Champion, and vice versa with Rhea Ripley. That would just add more. That just add more confusion now to something right now. As far as like, here's the thing: you're gonna add more confusion now to this brand new championship that you're introducing. So I think that Seth Rollins is gonna win. I like your case for AJ Styles. I get the listen. AJ Styles kind of saved it because he did say that, hey, listen, it's their job to make this the title, and I get that. You know what I mean? And I can't fault AJ for telling the truth, telling it as it is. So on that I give, on that I give
So
him.
tired.
So on that I give him, sorry, a little. So on that I give him credit for that. So, but I still think Seth Rollins is going to come out victorious, and I'm glad we disagree because that adds just more to the convo here.
Either way, Jeff, all I want is a great match, and AJ and Seth have always delivered really well in great matches. So, what better way to start off Night of Champions than that one? So, I'm looking forward to it.
So now we're talking about the fact that, like, you either open or you close out a show, but then kind of not the ideal position is number 2. So, Trendsetter, what do you think would be the number 2 match?
Well, as Jeff wakes up, I think the number 2 match would be, in this case, would probably one of the I don't know, the U.S. title, maybe.
That'd be great, but the U.S. title, I don't think is on the line.
Oh, is it? I thought it was on the
No,
line. Though.
no,
So
the IC title, which we'll
the
get
IC
to.
title then
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
on the line. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think we both I need both to wake up.
No, I could Austin Theory's in a match, but I guess I was wrong on that one.
No, yeah.
I'm gonna
So,
pay attention to the card though, but
but it's a
I
great.
knew the IC title was on the line. But again, doesn't it make sense? It's the Night of Champions. Wouldn't it be fair for me to assume the U.S. title was on the line? And I guess they're against that in Saudi Arabia. I have no idea.
Yeah, right. No. So Trish and Becky Lynch will be number 2. So this is a rivalry that I have enjoyed both their mic skills. So I think that while I think this feud is going to be prolonged, I think that Trish Stratus might come out victorious in the first encounter. I think it would kill a lot of steam if the man were able to win the first one. So I think this is going to be a long series of matches, maybe probably into SummerSlam. So I'm going to believe that if anyone can make the best of being number 2 here. In the matches here, I think it's going to be Becky and Trish, and I think that's going to be a very good match. I'm looking forward to this match. They've been very good on the mic, both of them. They both made their great points, but I'm going to go with Trish Stratus beating Becky Lynch in this first one.
Me too. I don't think it's going to be one and done, so I see Trish winning this one. As opposed to being a classic, I don't know. I've always looked at Becky
That's
Lynch.
a classic. I just said it's going to be good.
I never said you said classic. I said I think it's going to be a classic. No, so maybe you need to wake up a little bit, Jeff.
Oh boy,
You're on Saudi time right now.
I feel like our boy Eric in Saudi Arabia right now.
Oh man, I can't imagine that flight, dude. It'd be murder for me. I'd be miserable the entire time, like I am right now. But I don't think it's going to be a great match, honestly. I think really it's just going to serve its purpose to move on. It hit like similar to what Becky Lynch did to Bianca, right? Where it was a squash. Like, how could you do that? It'd be cool if that was actually the case and Trish showed her dominance, and then you have Becky who, no matter what version of Becky, ever since she did the man mantra thing she's doing now, has been really dominant in everything. Very rarely have we seen that Becky been like destroyed, right? Even when Nia Jax punched her in the face,
Yeah.
the Stone Cold Steve Austin moment. When's the last time you could see Becky Lynch just be completely outclassed in a sense? Be kind of cool to see that here because we will show some vulnerability, although everyone's behind Becky Lynch and the man and the mantra and like the man's come around to kick your ass type of thing. How cool would it be if it was a squash or just like one move and it was over type of thing? So see Trish winning it. Becky has always had an unorthodox style that I kind of like, depending on what opponent she's in there with, it's hit or miss, but the effort's always there. So I think storyline wise, I'm invested in it. I see Trish coming out on top here. Sorry, that's in my own fantasy head. But I see Trish winning this match, and yeah, I think it's the one of a few more down the road for these two. So I can't believe, wasn't Trish retired a long time ago? Now she's now back in the ring.
Hey
again.
man, the more you get to see Trish Stratus, the better. I
I'm
think
not complaining. Thank you, Trish. But one thing, can you age? I feel older. I got
Why?
raising my beard. No, because at least let me feel a bit better about myself. She has not aged one bit. She is gorgeous.
She ages
Still, man.
magnificently, magnificently.
She just found the
And
fountain of youth, and she doesn't want to share it.
no, and yeah, so that comes in second, Trendsetter. What do you think comes in number 3? And again, guys, I mean, we're on YouTube Live right now. We're just like minutes away, top of the hour, Night of Champions, and we're here with you until the top of the hour, talking about Night of Champions. We'll get into a couple other things too, but Trendsetter number 3 now. We've got Trish and Becky 2, and of course, they're going to open up number 1 with the WWE World Championship match between AJ Styles and Seth Freakin Rollins. What would be number 3? As PW Insider has broken the match rundown. If you guys like that thing, we're doing it for you here. What is number 3?
If I was thinking, because I don't have this in front of me like Jeff.
No,
does.
I know.
Yes, yeah, and again, always
in the notes, pal. It's shared in the notes, pal.
Yeah. Notes here. It's not there, pal. Okay.
Well, I want to surprise you. We're playing a game here, so I have the answer.
Well, what it is basically me doing all the work like I always do, and Jeff's like, just gonna throw him to Brian as he carries the show like he always does. I would say Gunther and Mustafa Ali as a guess.
Yes, there you go. Trendsetter's back on his game, showing you why he's the man. He gets paid the big bucks. You're right. The IC title is on the line.
Big bucks. I'm sorry, it made me laugh.
Yeah, guys, you should see the way this guy cursed at me before we got on here. The man is a taskmaster, but deservedly so because he runs this whole fishizzle. So yeah, Trendsetter, give you mad props for that. But yeah, man,
you think Mustafa's gonna get a big pop for this?
I think so. I think obviously he won the battle royal to determine the number 1 contender for the IC title. We get why, right? It's in Saudi Arabia. He's gonna get a huge pop. Here's my thing. I want to get behind Mustafa Ali. I have no issues with the guy. I think he's a tremendous world-class athlete. But I just don't think that – I think WWE has a lot of start and stop with him. I know you can say that a lot about a lot of wrestlers, right? But, he was in Retribution. That fizzled out. He made a great point. It's like, why are we watching these guys, right? There was never a payoff. So then that happens. Then he's, stuck in limbo, asks for his release. Doesn't get granted. Then he gets another shot at it. He's going to make the best of it. Then he's coming out with this Mr. Positivity thing. So it's start and stop. And then the whole Brock Lesnar just kills his momentum. I mean, he wins. He gets the pyre. He gets the Cody treatment after he wins this. And then Brock Lesnar, in just a few words, just shut him down. He says, get a life, kid. And we're back to square one. Ali, I think, is the best when he's just real. When he was in the car saying, if I haven't been able to show my real self, if I can't beat Gunther here, then, maybe he needs a career change. That's what I want to see. And I just want to see more of that. I don't know why WWE is trying to reinvent the wheel with Mustafa Ali. I think just have him be the way he is. Let him be real. And I think he's going to get fans to honestly, like, get behind him, man. I mean, maybe this is the start of it. But he's going to get the pop because he's in Saudi Arabia. He's in the press conference. He's like, I see people like me out there. So obviously, it's like if, for example, Jinder Mahal was in India, right? Yeah. So, he's going to get the pop. You're going to get false finishes here. Gunther's going to be on the brink. But at the end of the day, I don't find like Mustafa Ali's going to win. It'd be cool. And I don't think it would hurt Gunther. And he wins it back on Raw, whatever like that. But WWE has been very short to push that instant gratification a lot of times recently. They're into the story, right? So I don't see Mustafa Ali coming out victorious here. I'll see a lot of false finishes. I'll see a very good match because that's all Gunther does. And Mustafa Ali is very talented. But come on, Trendsetter. I love the story. I love Mustafa Ali, but I just can't see him winning here. I don't think the guys on the Give Us a Shot Network believe that as well.
No, in terms of believing that he's going to win, I don't. But ultimately, like you said, you're doing it. We know the reason why they're doing it, right? Yeah. You just hope it gets good reaction because this is an important match for Mustafa Ali, not in the sense of winning the Intercontinental title. To me, it's important for him to get that pop. Now, of course, people say, oh, well, because you're in Saudi Arabia, you're in this part of the country, that's why. But it's important for him because he needs to, I wouldn't want to say prove, but showcase the fact that he can be put on that type of level with guys like Gunther. I'm sure Gunther's going to do everything he can to make this a successful match for both ends, of course, when we talk about the business side of things. But I think it'll be a really good match, and hopefully it will finally show that, hey, there's something more to this kid than we're seeing that you hope carries over to the States. So that's the important thing. It's not about winning the Intercontinental title. The mere fact he's in this position, we get why. But he needs to prove that he can carry this type of momentum or this type of level of not just. I mean, we know what he can do in the ring. Can he carry that from in the ring to connecting with the audience in the States? That's what we'll see.
Again, Trendsetter, you produced this. So I don't know, I don't know if there's going to be people in the convo here, getting on here or whatever. I just want to ask you in general if there's no one, then because again, this is impromptu, this is spur of the moment that we came on here live, but we're counting down United Champions. You know how WWE right now has this fondness of having long-term champions as far as the heavyweight title scene, right? Do you think it helps? I know because, and here we are nitpicking, right? Because the IC title and the US title haven't really been important or relevant for a while. Now we're getting long-term title reigns, Austin Theory and Gunther. But do you think that title needs to be spread out a little bit more? Because I would love to have Mustafa Ali and Ricochet in a best of 7 for the Intercontinental Championship, because I see so much. And again, there's no, you can't replicate Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. But in these matches though, can really help elevate popularity of these wrestlers. I've seen both of them get in the ring. I've seen a glimpse of what it could be. And don't you think it would be great if maybe the U.S. title bounced around a little bit more, or maybe the IC title bounced a little bit more, so that you could see these matches have a significance for that title? Because I think Mustafa Ali and Ricochet are very much underrated, underused, and I think something like a title would elevate them more if they were going for something. While we love where the IC title and the US title are being positioned as being long term and important, do you think that there should be at least one title that gets maybe bounced around a little bit, where there's not long term title reigns in WWE like it is with the heavyweight division?
No, and the reason why I don't agree with doing that is because, listen, for the longest time we talked about wanting there to be some consistency. That the U.S. title 1 week is lost and won here, and then 2 weeks later it's done here, and so we've always looked for long term storylines that we thought was not going to be the case. Now there's a new regime, and we start kind of finding out that it does work. I mean, perfect example, Roman Reigns. When was the last time? I don't think ever in our lifetime I thought we're ever going to see a champion last 1,000 days reign. You had, it was Phil Brooks. I'm not going to say his wrestling name because to me he's not a wrestler anymore. Phil Brooks in his title reign.
Great negotiator.
Brock Lesnar in his title. Well, he's not a wrestler anyway. Brock Lesnar in his scenario.
Did that wake you guys up out there to come on and on board on the show?
No, that's how I feel, because how I feel about the way he conducts business. Again, I don't know all the ands, ifs, or buts about it. Again, that's for another show, obviously. But when you look at title reigns like that, the honky tonk man, how long he's going to go on? Like, those are long title reigns. But then when you get in the echelon, we start talking about Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Bob Backlund, Pedro Morales, right? Thank you for that. Now we're talking about that again. Before it was like so long ago, that's such an archaic thing. That's not the day and age now. Now we're going back to that. Now, to my point, to not be long-winded here, because I know we're about to kind of wrap up, or we're getting close to the bottom here.
Oh no, we're at the top of the hour, boys.
And we're getting close to the top now here. I think it doesn't make sense now. You've established that this is what you want to do. I think regardless, if Roman doesn't lose, he still helps out the person he worked with. I think Gunther's the same way. They're making him a dominant intercontinental champion. It's bringing some type of relevancy to the Intercontinental Championship. Why not continue it going that route? If you give the guy like Mustafa Ali, yes, big rush, haha, yes, right. But then how long does that carry over? And was it worth it? Because if you're going to take the title off of Gunther, if you're going to take the title off of Roman Reigns, it can't be a one-shot wonder. I'm not calling Mustafa Ali a one-shot wonder, but it will lead to that, because then people will get bored of it and want the established guy who once had it to have it again. So that's why guys like Austin Theory, Gunther, Roman Reigns, and whoever becomes the world champion later today, those guys are going to have to be established stars to help elevate the younger stars. It's not about dropping the title. It's about what good of quality of caliber talent you are to bring up guys despite them losing, to raise up their stock. So when the moment the title drops, it means something. So I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, if you go on Twitter right now, Trendsetter. I would say Trendsetter. Trendsetter as I saw a putty cat. Everyone, the knock on the match opening the show, the WWE Championship match, is already getting a lot of pushback now. After all the secondary comments, this should be closing the show, meaning Seth Rollins and AJ Styles.
But in reality, guys, it's Roman Reigns who closes the show, regardless.
Who is the head of the
People
freaking
were
table?
upset at WrestleMania when Sammy and Kevin and the Usos closed the show at WrestleMania. Why do you have a tag team match closing the show when you have a women's world title match that should have ended WrestleMania Night 1? Storyline, guys. That's what it is. People are more invested into Roman Reigns than they are the world title right now. That's the truth. They
And
are.
like you said, this was like a month ago
Yeah.
that this was introduced. And like I said, if you're opening the show, you're opening that's going to leave a lasting. Again, it's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, or it's what you value it. It's not in the middle. It's opening. And what's everyone saying? They'd rather open or close, right?
Yeah.
And it's opening the show. The opening match, you're gonna open that. I mean, why is we so hung up on having that end shot of him holding the title and the firework? You can have the same shot in honestly in the opening match, and then obviously, I don't see what the big deal is, Trendsetter. I really don't, man. I just think this is just total. People have this image, or the IWC has this image of just, hey, you know what? If this should be it, and I'll be damned if I'm going to hear your perspective, because what is wrong with opening it with the world title match? I really don't see that much of an issue, or I don't know, just the big deal that they make, man. It's just I just shake my head. If you want to middle of the pack, fine, but like it's opening the show. It's opening. You're gonna have that long lasting image. Hey, did you see that world championship match? It opened the show. Would I text you, Trendsetter, and be like, oh my god, look at that, it opened the show, it didn't close it? No, I don't see it that way. I don't know what the fascination is about the placement. We're here having fun here. We're trying to book ourselves, right? But I mean, my goodness, man,
Right.
like, oh yeah. So what? There's a lot of women's matches here, Trendsetter.
Yeah. Just run them down. Let's go.
Yeah. So up next, what it would be? So I already gave it away. Women's matches. What would be the other one? Do you think it's Bianca Belair and Asuka, or do you think it's Rhea Ripley and Natalia?
I got Rhea and Natalia going next.
No, it's going to be actually Bianca Belair
Wow.
and Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, this is a rematch of WrestleMania. Asuka's heel. I don't know, man. Like, should this be on the card? Is it that much of a big deal where it should be on this card?
Quick answer. No. The reason why it's a championship match, and we have two individuals like Asuka and Bianca Belair, who Bianca Belair has had so much momentum ever since she won the title back at WrestleMania. To not 39, 38, she won it back. I feel.
Yeah.
And in Dallas, and now has held this long reign as a champion and a dominant champion. When you could tell the company's behind her, but the crowd hasn't really turned too much on her. It makes sense. You want to showcase your high level talent, and that's why Bianca's in this position, and that's why Asuka's here, because it's kind of like a WrestleMania rematch. You had a really good showing at WrestleMania 39, so let's have it again at Saudi Arabia to bring up that atmosphere of the importance behind it. So, yeah, I see it. Should have been on it? Probably not, but you know why it's on there.
They have a good chemistry, so I really don't. I don't have an issue with the matches because I think that they have good chemistry. You know what I was thinking, Trendsetter, when we were sitting there in Mania, watching that matchup,
Mhm.
and when Bianca won, I was thinking to myself, if Undertaker has a streak, I really think Bianca Belair could have a WrestleMania streak as well. I really think that she's going to be someone that I don't know if they're thinking about it now. I'm certainly thinking about it now. Is that this is somebody that could be the female version of Taker, and she could be Mrs. WrestleMania or something like that. Because I just think on the grandest stage, I think she performs the best, right? Beating Becky Lynch, then beating Asuka. Do you think it's too early to maybe say that she could be someone that has her own WrestleMania streak, or were you even thinking about that when you're at WrestleMania?
I don't think you could ever say it's too early. I mean, people are always going to think that, regardless of how early or late it is. It's an idea to think about in terms. I would have to go back. I don't think she has lost at WrestleMania.
I don't think so
Is it
either.
something you could do? Yes, but here's the difference, though. I just think, honestly, I mean, listen, look what they've done with Roman, right? Look how long he's been champion for.
You know how
Do I
they
think they
love
could do that, Bianca? Absolutely. But here's the thing: a lot of things have to go right, and I'm not even talking about storyline wise. I'm talking about a guy like Roman, for example, has to not only deliver each and every time, which he can now. We know he can. He has to stay healthy. He has to be
very
there.
important health.
You can't run. Undertaker, through everything he's gone through, lasted that long. it goes back to our old analogy in sports. Jeff. I just think the longevity, the athletes are so much more stronger and faster in terms of their durability. I don't know, because I don't think nowadays, I don't think athletes, whether it be sports entertainers slash wrestlers, are looking at having a 30, 35-year career. I think they're looking at maybe a 8, 9, 10-year career, and
Then
then
go
who
to
knows
Hollywood, make
what other
movies.
opportunity might present itself. So I don't think longevity wise. I mean, look at Bianca. Look at everything she's done since being champion, all the shows she's been on promoting WWE. She is a character. She is someone I can honestly see. I wouldn't say I don't know if she'd go into the movies, but she could have other opportunities outside WWE in the near future. Look at Charlotte Flair. The same scenario too. She could do other things outside of WWE. She's already established herself. Bianca's on that route, close to getting to, not close, but approaching that point where she's not no longer going to need the championship. She's just that established of a star. So I don't know, can you do it with Bianca? For people like her, yes. In terms of the dominance of champion and having a WrestleMania streak, I just don't think in this day and age it makes sense to do that anymore. I don't know if you can do that again.
I think that Bianca is going to be dominant again. I think that I don't see her losing anytime soon, and I think that she's going to beat Asuka.
I think so too. I have her winning and beating Asuka in this one.
All right, so now obviously we know Rhea Ripley and Natalia are going to be the second women's match for the SmackDown women's. It's weird, right? Because
they're on different brands,
it's,
get opposing titles. Yeah,
exactly right. So here's the thing. I guess now Natalia can be the women's gatekeeper. I guess, right? And I think that Natalia, of course, switched over brands. And so now she gets the opportunity. Obviously, she was in a historic match. I think it was with Lacey Evans, right? When they had that match, and it kind of broke barriers, in Saudi. And now I think just Natalia is the veteran. I think that it's a good rivalry for Rhea Ripley. But at the end of the day, when you're going to be a betting man, if you're going to put any shekels on this, you're obviously going to go with Rhea Ripley, right? Because she's just so dominant, so good. It would make no sense to take the title off her.
No, it wouldn't make any sense. After all they've done to build her up here, I don't, like you said, unfortunately, Natalia finds herself as the gatekeeper now. Not that she needs to be. It's just you need a good quality opponent, a vile, believable opponent to put doubt that Rhea's title reign is in jeopardy. Talia fits that bill. Not that she's going to win or has the likelihood of winning, because then why would you do that after this huge buildup, that WrestleMania moment she had, going through all the history of everything she'd gone through to finally reach this point? She's shown her dominance. She's shown she's a star. Take the title off her? Yeah, no, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy card to kind of dissect and also like predict, because I think that the matches are good from top to bottom. I think it's going to be a great show. I just think there's really the way that WWE is booking these things, like you just don't see them going out of the norm, or like you said, throwing a curveball and having somebody win when they're not supposed to, right? They're very much into long-term storytelling. It's about the story. It's funny, kind of ironic with Cody Rhodes as we head into this match. It's going to be Cody and Brock Lesnar, the fight. Obviously, after Backlash and Cody getting that victory over Brock Lesnar, a little surprising, but obviously we knew there was going to be a continuation of this rivalry, and now Brock Lesnar is looking to fight Cody Rhodes, and with a broken arm, obviously this leads to thorough domination by Brock Lesnar, I believe, and I think Brock's going to get it done, and I think we might have a payoff at SummerSlam with maybe the third match here. But, there's a lot of rumors surfacing that Bray Wyatt may be the next guy to maybe find a way and intertwine with Cody Rhodes, which I would not, again, I love Bray Wyatt. Hopefully he comes back healthy. Hopefully he returns soon. But I would just think with the track record of Bray Wyatt, first of all, and I sorry to digress. Let's talk about first Brock and Cody.
Yeah.
Do you see this arm angle being in a way where Cody gets dominated and Brock gets a second win, so we have a rubber match? Or do you think that it's going to be Cody overcoming all odds and beating Brock Lesnar again? I don't think so. I think that Brock Lesnar is going to dominate Cody tonight.
I think they're trying to build it similar to what happened when we had the torn pec against Seth Rollins, showing the courage and the toughness he has to go in there with insurmountable odds, especially with a guy like Brock Lesnar. No, I don't see him coming out victorious here. I see him being thoroughly dominated, basically destroyed to the point where he's got a broken arm. So how even with two arms, it's hard to fight a guy like Brock Lesnar. What are you gonna do with one arm, right? So I see Brock Lesnar getting back the win from the loss he had um, in the previous match they had, and then showcasing a rubber match here. It would make sense for that. I mean, then what's the point of a third one with Brock? Like honestly, you have to make Brock still look. I mean, he's dangerous regardless, but after losing it, claiming it to be a fluke, now showing his dominance after obviously taking advantage of breaking Cody's arm, it fits the bill here, and so I see that happening. So Brock's going to dominate. Cody Rhodes is going to have a long, long day. I mean, he might even walk out Survivor with maybe two healthy arms, maybe two bad arms at the same time, and a bad back and neck. He'll be taking the Suplex City, and that'll be that, and then booking on to the next one.
Yeah, man, we are almost close. We are that light at the end of the tunnel. We see it. That champions at the top of the hour, and we're here on Give Us a Shot Network, the new home of HSP, giving you a little countdown rundown. We might get into a few more things before the top of the hour. So let's see here. The final match, of course, the match that should close is Roman Reigns and the Bloodline trying to bring back the WWE Undisputed Tag Team titles back to the Bloodline with Solo Sikoa. We've seen turmoil now with the Usos, especially on Friday Night SmackDown. Now it's getting really to the point where someone's going to have enough now. Enough is enough. And again,
it's time for a change.
Yeah, and exactly. And KO and Sami Zayn, obviously KO really pushed those buttons last night. And we're seeing now that this is going to come to a head pretty soon, man. Either the Usos are going to have enough, or either, Solo's going to have enough of Roman's going to have enough of the whole thing, or something's happening really soon. I think that the storyline's been progressing well, and I think as the storyline's picked up, it is the main story. It's been the main story for now almost a year. So obviously this is going to get the main focus. I think we're going to have something huge happen tonight at Night of Champions. It's going to be another turning point in this saga of the Bloodline story. But as far as who's going to win, man, like Vince McMahon would say, I don't know. This one is really hard. I'm going to say that because it's a and boy, this would be something historic. I don't think this would be maybe the second time Roman loses a match. I think he lost to Cena, right? The Cena tag team match with Sammy, I believe.
He wasn't pinned, though.
Oh, Kevin Owens, actually. He wasn't pinned. All right. But
he wasn't beaten.
There's a match involved. So you're going to have to be very careful on this if we take the whole Roman thing. But 1,000 days as champion, congratulations to him. I don't think he adds the tag team titles tonight. I think that somehow, something's going to happen with the Bloodline that is going to prevent him from winning those tag team titles, bringing them back to the Bloodline, dedicating to Alpha and Sikoa, the Wall Samoans. I think that KO and Sami Zayn win this one, and it's going to be the start of something. We're going to be talking about this one tonight on our post show.
I actually think the opposite here. I think that the scenario, the way they're going right now with the dominance of Roman Reigns, the way they tried to establish the Bloodline being this huge iconic thing where it's like it owns WWE, right? It does not take me back, and I've been thinking about this, like where they going to go with this. And what I would do, I would have Roman and Solo win.
Wow.
The reason why is that if you're like, oh, well, you're going to bury Sami and Kevin, well, they're not really a tag team, to be honest. Like, they're not an established tag team. They had their moment at WrestleMania. They defended it at Backlash. Not that their run is over as tag team champions, but I think the storyline isn't over because the main storyline, unfortunately, isn't Kevin and Sami anymore. It's between the Usos and the Bloodline and Roman and Solo. So now it's building up. Now you have Roman as not only the champion, the Universal and WWE champion, now he's the undisputed tag team champion. Just, again, showcases his dominance on being another level than everyone else and causing more turmoil. I can't speak English today. More turmoil against the Bloodline because now they're going to have to defend those titles against maybe Sami and Kevin again. And maybe the Usos will cost them those titles, and that will create more turmoil. So it's just about the Bloodline storyline continuing on. It was Sami now it's between the inner workings of this whole faction now falling apart. And when's the moment going to happen? So you start building up towards that. So to see Saudi Arabia and Roman Reigns as not have 4 titles on him, I see that closing the show. I really do.
Sami's getting a little too obsessed, I think, with Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really personal. I mean, this
can't
is
let it go. He can't move on.
This is kind of
Similar to somebody I know, he can't move past things that have already happened in the past.
Oh, very true, very true. I'm very much like Sami Zayn right now.
I never said you. Why do you think I was assuming you?
I'm assuming me.
Okay.
I have a lot.
It's not always about you, Jeff. I'm sorry.
I have a lot. I can see maybe that's going to blind him a little bit, and maybe that could cost them the tag team titles if it's going on in your scenario. But I like the fact that we're disagreeing, man. I think that the perspective that you gave and that I've given today has been pretty good, and I think that, man, it's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to watching this. Listen, Memorial Day has become wrestling now must see. Before WWE didn't do anything on Memorial Day. Basically, AEW had it with Double or Nothing, right? And they would have their they would have the weekend to themselves. But now you've got also Battleground, which is coming up. And I thought Battleground was going to be in the afternoon, but no, it's going head to head with Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like
Not a coincidence in my mind.
yeah, and if you take a look at Double or Nothing, like the card is solid, but it's nothing too crazy. It's not like Tony's put like all hands on deck. You know what I mean? I think that they're getting to their other show because we know what's coming up in June. We'll talk about that next week. We know what's coming up in June. Plus, they have the Wembley show, and then they have all out. So all in and all out, like the same like back-to-back weeks, which is crazy. So that's coming up. But listen, I don't want to think. Listen, the summer just started. I had a great time down the shore.
You're talking about Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, I know.
I'm already like, what are you doing, man?
I'm already talking about what you're gonna get me for Christmas.
I don't want to think about that right now, honestly.
So yeah, listen, just enjoy. We're not even in June, but yeah, everyone having their barbecue, watching some good old wrestling this weekend. So I mean, honestly, we've pretty much run down this card. We're heading now close to the Open of United Champions, and man, it's been fun doing this, man. While you guys don't know the back scenes and everything, just to get on here, it's been fun though. It's really been fun to preview this and be here on YouTube Live with you guys, and of course here on the Give Us a Shot Network. Follow us for the new home of HSP and going forward, and you can follow us on all our social media, High Spot Podcast, and Trendsetter. As we wrap it up here. What to you is going to be the match that seals the show?
Steals the show?
Yeah.
Part of me likes to think it's going to be the world title match between AJ and Seth just because they're tremendous performers. I'm going to say workers. They're tremendous performers, right? That's going to seal the show. It's the first show. It's going to kick it off. It's going to steal the show. But really look at this card. I have to say, I'm thinking it's going to be Gunther and Mustafa Ali.
Yeah,
I think it's going to steal the show just because it shows. We know that Mustafa Ali is a really good talent, but I really feel WWE is really high on Gunther, and for rightfully so, in terms of what he does in the ring, how he carries himself, and he was interviewed prior to WrestleMania, saying what was his goal. He said his goal is to main event WrestleMania 40, and who knows? And within that time span, could that be a possibility? Because he's shown his dominance as a intercontinental champion. Who's to say that once that reign does come to an end eventually, at some point, who knows? Or he'll do the route of what Oscar did and relinquish it. I don't see that happening, obviously. What's the next step? To be the man, to be the world champion, or in this case, the WWE Universal Champion. And let's see what happens in that route and where stories go there. But yeah, I think that one will steal the show.
Yeah, I want to say Seth Rollins and AJ Styles are going to have a classic one, and it's going to be a great way to kick off and start the new lineage of the WWE Championship. But I'm so looking forward to what's going to happen in that tag team match between Roman Reigns and Sikoa going up against Sikoa. So something brewing, and you got Reigns head of tables going into 1,000 days champion. So Sikoa, where does he lie? And it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with how the Usos are they going to get involved here? Are they going to possibly cost Roman Reigns the tag team titles? And like you said, Trendsetter, if they do win those tag team titles, do the Usos vie for those tag team titles, right?
Yeah.
And does Roman work more dates, right? Because suppose he's going to work lesser dates, this coming year. So we'll see what happens, man. So that to me, that matchup has a lot of buzz. I'm looking forward to it, and it should close no matter what you guys say. So a great weekend of wrestling, Trendsetter. We will be with you sometime tonight with a post-show analysis of Night of Champions. We'll break it all down on RG Live. Follow us at High Spot Podcast. We'll be on there some point tonight. Talk about it and discuss the matches. Will we be right? We will see. And then, of course, tomorrow you got Battleground NXT going head to head with Double or Nothing, and we'll have your post show there as well. Talk about both shows and see what happened. A lot of matches are intriguing there, so we'll talk about it. Trendsetter. Hey, listen, we want to thank everyone here. We want to thank Give Us a Shot Network, the new home of HSP here. I want to thank the Trendsetter for getting this in short order, getting us on the air. And we do this for you guys, man. And Trendsetter, thank you again, man. And this has been fun.
It's been fun. It's great breaking down the card, obviously, and everything we've been doing here, guys. Like we do it. It's a labor of love, and sometimes it feels a lot more like a labor than actually love. Sometimes you hate it, but you love to hate it because it's awesome. It gives Jeff and I the avenue and the tool to reach out to you guys. You guys who have been supportive for us since day one, have seen us go back and forth doing other things, trying to find some type of traction, but yet you guys have always been behind us, have always appreciated everything Jeff and I do, and nothing more to be said on that. It's literally what we say at the tail end of each show is true every single time. And who knows, maybe we'll make a shirt out of it because it is true. So
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this preview of Night of Champions here for us, the Jersey Writing crew, to you guys here, to Give Us a Shot Network, our new home. And we love you guys as well. And can't we do more stuff and more content for you guys to enjoy as well, leading to, who knows, Philadelphia down the road. You know, it's funny as I say that, but Jeff started talking about Labor Day. So why not down the road for WrestleMania? Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Can't wait to do the post on IG Live as well. We thank you so much for listening to us. And remember, we do this for one reason and one reason only. We do this for you, the crew.
Now the Champions is next.